Hey guys, today I'm going to do something which I've never done before, which is just to simply farm while I'm recording this video. So right now I've just entered a Terra Rift, and as you can see the time has just started. It's at 11 minutes now, and you can see here that I haven't really been playing. I'm at 2 gems today, and actually I think I'm at like 36 gems because it's been stacking up for 3 days. And basically right now I have the double event, which is the Wind of Fortune. I can't scroll down to show it. Maybe if I go to the events tab here, I could show you guys. So the Wind of Fortune is active. I've got it 17 hours, 18 hours remaining here. And as you can see, I'm playing a Necro build, and I haven't really pressed any of my skills. Actually, I'm going to press the skills once here just to spawn the Golem. So you'll notice something that I'm not really pressing any skills or even pressing my primary attack at all. So what I'm using here is the AFK build, which Loreth UK has featured on his channel. He's a great content creator, by the way, and you guys should definitely check him out, especially if you play Necro. So you can see here from the party chat, I'm gaining so many normal gems doing this, and I believe that this is the fastest way to actually gain normal gems is by playing Terra Rift. So normally you're actually running around while doing Terra Rift. You can see that my teammates here are like moving around, but right now I'm not moving around at all. I'm just standing completely still. As far as how this build goes, I'll quickly go over it. You can definitely watch the video on Laura's channel, so I'm not going to spend too much time on this. I'm using Bone Armor, Command Golem, Command Skeleton, and Skeletal Mage. And you can actually see here that for most of these skills they have a passive. So if we look here, yeah, it says passive summon a Spectral Mage every 10 seconds while you're in combat, so you don't have to press the skill at all. Once again here, passive raise a Skeletal Champion every 8 seconds. And once again, this one doesn't have a passive, but basically this golem is always alive. You can see here with the essence that I'm using, I'll quickly explain it. But for bone armor as well, it's the same thing. This one is also a passive effect. You can see passively absorbs the souls of enemies you slay. So how this build works is using these essence. I'm using Putrid Onslaught. I'm using the Draw Deep Chest Essence for the bone armor, which allows it to become completely autonomous and passive. Incision Cusp is giving me the critical hit damage for bone armor, and because it's always passively active, it's giving me always this critical hit damage. For the Pants Essence, I'm using Undying Malice, which gives me a critical hit chance from bone armor. And then for the main hand essence, I'm using the Pierce Hammer, which gives me command skeleton damage. And I'm using the Rotted Harvest. This piece is key because this is what's going to allow your golem to be alive all the time. You just need to cast it once. And then for the offhand essence, I'm using Dead Keen, which gives me additional damage for the command golem for each harmful effect, and also the Scattered Light, which is another key piece, which is going to make your skeletal mages untargetable and make them have the passive, which they're always going to be pretty much alive. For the set pieces, I'm pretty much using the same ones that Loreth recommended. 4 pieces Banquet of Eyes and 4 pieces Shepherd, because we're having so many summons. Shepherds is actually very useful here. And then for the legendary gems, I'm not really using anything special, just whatever gems that I have, which are good. Bloodsoaked Jade, Bottled Hope, Rolling Consequence, Viper's Bite for the Banquet, and Sleeping Bow also for the Banquet. Colossus Engine, you don't really have to use this. Just use whichever gems you like. They're not really that important. If you're struggling to survive, then you do want to go for something a bit more resonance, but I think even with low resonance, you can survive just fine. So you can see here on the timer, I'm down to 6 minutes. Let's just quickly take a look at my gems here. So you can see that in like 6 minutes, 6 or 7 minutes, I gained 8 unbound gems for the day. So in my opinion, this is definitely the best method to farm if you want to be like a lazy farmer. I'm not going to recommend you guys to use this in open world. I'm not judging people. If they want to use this in open world, it's absolutely fine. I know that there's some good spots that people like to use in Southern Dreadlands outside here of the waypoint, and also in the new zone, the Shovel Wilds. There's also some decent spot right outside here in the waypoint. But yeah, you guys can check out Loreth's video. He's gone through in depth. In this video, I wanted to focus mainly on Terra Rifts, which I believe is the best way to utilize this method. And the reason for that is simply because you can be in your own instance in a Terra Rift. You're not going to mess up anyone else. So it's a really good method to actually farm gems and not really have anyone bother you, and you don't bother anyone. Let's say if they're doing their bounties, they won't be able to see you because you're in a Terra Rift, which is really good. So the other tip which I want to give you guys is all of the spots that you want to be using. So right now you can see that I'm in Shasasi Terror Rift. So you want to be here. This is the farm spot that I like to use. I just stand still here, and basically for all of these spots you want to wait until the timer is roughly 4 minutes. That's usually when you can come back. So basically it's like a 13-minute timer when you enter, and then I usually set like a 10-minute timer as soon as I enter, and I'd come back when there's about 3 minutes left and clear each of these spires. But obviously if you're capped on spires, then you can just come in and just do your gems. You don't have to clear the spires at all. You can just stand completely still here for the whole 30 minutes and just keep re-entering. So as far as the different spots for Shasasi, you want to be here. Let's quickly go through all of them. So I believe the Darkwood is actually the worst zone for this, but it's fine. You can do it somewhere around here. This will be absolutely fine if you stand still. The next one would be the Cemetery. Cemetery is a very good spot. You can actually stand somewhere around here, just next to the home point, and that'll be absolutely fine. The next one, Mountains of Vane. So for Mountains of Vane, there's a few spots you can do, but I usually like to go somewhere around here in the middle. This is a really nice farm spot. If you just stand still, you'll be able to get the shards in about 10 minutes. And then finally, have I missed any of them? I think the only two left are Library. So for Library, I actually like to stand here. So sometimes you can also stand here, but I believe that you die pretty fast if you stand here, just because of how the mobs spawn. But if you stand somewhere around here next to this waypoint in the left, you actually will gain a lot of shards. And then finally for the Frozen Tundra, sorry, I'm all over the place here. For the Frozen Tundra, you want to be somewhere around here, like between these three rocks here, and you'll do just fine. So basically, like I said, you can just stand still, and like right now you can see I've gained all of the shards. It's 3 minutes left, and this is the point where you can actually move. And how you want to do this is it's really simple. Just get to a waypoint, and as soon as you're on top of a waypoint here, you can select any of these spires and you'll automatically teleport. So let's just go for this one here. This one should be really easy. So the downside with this build is it doesn't have very high movement speed, but that's absolutely fine because most of the time you're going to be AFK and you won't need to worry about moving around. So honestly, for me, I will say that I'm not really the biggest fan of AFK farming, but at the same time, I do understand that it is part of the game and it's here to stay. It's not going to change as far as I understand. And my intention with this video isn't really to nerf it. In fact, I would actually go so far as to say the developers should actually add this for all classes, because it's not really fair in my opinion. Like, a lot of the classes don't have these passive skills. I'm not sure if there's a way for them to elegantly introduce kind of essence that give you like passive abilities or something like that, but they definitely should do it because Necro right now has the advantage, and it shows in the stats that Necro is the most popular and most played class currently, and I believe that is because of this build here, just because people right now, they're in between difficulties and there's not really any updates to the game, so they're just kind of in maintenance mode, just farming along, whether that be in the open world or through Terror Rift, whatever it may be. But as you can see here, I'm gaining a lot of rewards, not only gems, but also legendary items doing this, so this is really good to see. So unfortunately here, there's no waypoint near me, so I'm gonna just teleport manually. The other good thing is that while you're teleporting, your summons will actually keep hitting the mobs, so normally your teleport won't get interrupted using this build, which is really good. So about 90 seconds left on the clock. I should be fine, hopefully. Hopefully I have enough time to do this. So normally I don't record my gameplay while I'm recording videos, but I thought this would be a good opportunity to show you guys kind of the power of Necro. But like I said, I would really like to see this for other classes, because right now, as far as I understand, you can actually do some kind of AFK farming for other classes, but only using primary attack. I believe if you do something like double tap on your screen on the primary attack, only if you're playing on phone, you can actually spam your primary attack and that will be fine. But the problem is that does nowhere near as much damage as a build like this, and unfortunately you won't be able to stay alive as well just doing your primary attack. So some players have resorted to actually using some third-party programs to press their skills for them, and I honestly would not recommend any of you guys to do that, just because there is a risk that you get banned, and I'm not going to promote that at all on my channel. But yeah, this method, as far as I know, is completely safe. You're not really doing anything, you're just standing still, not pressing any skills, and this is completely part of the game. So as you can see here, I just about managed to clear all of them. You probably don't want to start as late as me, maybe when there's like 4 minutes on the clock, but this is absolutely fine. And you can see here, I got 12 unbound gems. I've just ended the rift, and I got a bunch of normal gems. If we just take a quick look at the party chat here, you can see just how many gems I got and how many gems my party got. And this is just from one Terror Rift. In my experience, you have to run 3 Terror Rifts to cap your 12 daily gems for the day. So that will take you anywhere between 30 and 40 minutes to cap, as long as you're in a 4-man party. And if you don't have too much time to play during the day or during the week, and you don't want to fall behind on your secondary gems, then I can definitely recommend you guys to switch over to Necro and try a build out like this. And if anyone from Blizzard is watching this, I'd like to give feedback. If this is intended, which I do think it is because it's been in the game for so long and you're not really doing anything against TOS, you're just using the essence as they're intended. I do think, however, that with Necro being the only class that can do this, it's kind of a little bit unfair. They should extend this passive skill ability to other classes to allow them to also do some kind of autonomous farming. This might actually be a bit of an unpopular opinion, because I know that there are two camps. Some people really hate AFK farming because people take spaces in the open world, but if it's used in something like this, in Terror Rifts, which is the only way I've been using this strategy so far, I think that it's completely harmless, because like I said, you're in a separate instance and you're not really messing around with the other players. So just please extend this to other classes. Anyway, that's about everything that I want to share in this video, guys. I'm curious to hear your thoughts and opinions about AFK farming. If you're part of the club that likes AFK farming, what kind of strategies do you like to use it for? And if you're part of the club that doesn't really like AFK farming, I'm curious to hear your thoughts and opinions as to why. And if players were only to use it in modes where you can enter your own instance like Terror Rifts, would you be against that, or is that fine? Do let me know what you think. But for now, I'm going to be signing off, and I'll catch you all in the next video. Peace.